Well, since Mike just shifted gears, what's on everyone's mind? Larry, Barry, Paul, good to see you.
Taxes. I
Taxes.
got to do them this week.
Yeah,
Next
me
weekend.
too.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I always wait.
Larry, how are you?
Good. Good to see you. We should have our own little podcast, Coffee Klatsch on baseball.
Yeah.
Why do I wait every year to the last week for taxes?
Because it's not something you want. See, believe it or not, being a CPA, I did my, and having retired from being in public accounting, I did my return over a month ago and I got my money back already. So,
See, there's the problem. That's why we wait. We don't have the government having our money. We're going to pay them.
oh,
I have to pay.
The whole money back thing.
I have to pay.
So therein lies the reason for the last minuteness. I had money. I knew I had money coming back, so I was on it like a cheap suit. And I filed my return. I used, by the way, TurboTax. TurboTax is pretty darn good. I mean, it is. I mean, it works pretty well, especially if you don't have
Well, talk about electronics replacing humans, then, Michael.
I know. No, but it's pretty.
I've been using it for 15 years or more.
That kind of hits on a blog post I think I'll write next week, which is I'm never doing taxes again. And I hear that, my phone starts to ring this time of year with, I know we've been talking, but I never want to go through this again. And we'll see. It's easy to say that when you're in the thick of it. Oh, a lot going on, guys. We signed the contract. The Mills house. I was actually in there this weekend checking out the pool. There's a big outdoor bar with a fireplace. It's a great venue for us. It'll be a great venue. And we did gotta love AI. We did a search of rates around town, and I held their feet to the fire. So we have a really good, for Charleston, a really good hotel rate. And it's going to be fun. So September 23, 24, 25, if memory serves, we had holidays, then we had another conference because I didn't pull the trigger fast enough. Those are our dates. We're reserved. I just put my neck on the line. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. And then we'll have registration, an updated link. And one of the things I'm hoping to discuss today or over the next couple of weeks is what would you like to see? What would you value? What experiences would you value at the conference? And some of you have been to a Growth Drive style summit. It's not like other conferences, but is that good? Is it? What would you like? What would you value? So that's the question. I'm not putting anybody on the spot. We don't have to answer right now. But it's a conversation we need to have as a community, because at the end of the day, it's your conference. So I have some ideas, but I won't perjure the jury.
Well, anytime we learn from each other, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that presentation by it was the second bite of the apple.
Steve Pella.
Steve coming to I thought that was really enlightening, kind of stretch your mind a little bit of what's possible. With this thing we call, growth drive, fascinating. And I think there's so many different ways in which people have been able to cobble together a service offering. So if we had another member that would want to present for a service offering and kind of understand how they pull it all together, that's always beneficial.
I should be.
And it's you learn that especially if you're presenting, you do learn a lot because you're forced to, think through it and not just
Heck yeah.
like teach on others and a lot.
Hey, George, this is Chad. I'd like to take a deeper dive in the AI.
You know what? That is prescient, my man. That is prescient. I'm trying to take notes. Smart man would have had this up already. All right, I'm going to move this puppy over here so I can see everyone. All right,
What about AI, Chad, that you're interested in?
Well, I think just, the future of it, how it will continue to evolve and just how we can continue to, utilize it more, benefit more from it. Not only, with our own firm, but also with our clients. I mean, I use it, daily with our clients.
Well, Chad, that's prescient because we have execute guidance is published. It's inside your, and I will do a training on that. But execute guidance is live. And the next module is CEO insights. It's really projections, right? How fast if you've grown historically, what does that look like going forward? How fast is your industry growing? How fast, you're saying you're going to grow at 20%. And what's the delta between those two? What needs to change? When does it look like you're going to need to get an outside capital? Because, that happens to everyone. Those types of conversations. What impact does strategic capacity have on? I'd be happy to show you guys. Strategic capacity have on value? If we can increase your strategic capacity, what does that do to the value of your business, etc.? That's cool. Well, it was not going to surprise you that AI has reached a point where it is straightforward. I am purposefully not using the word easy. It is well understood how to layer AI on top of systems, which is precisely what Growth Drive is going to do to Clarity. And it is a question of prompt engineering, right? So you guys have been sharing prompts inside the community and Circle. If you have additional prompts you find handy, please post them, guys, please. I mean, we're not competing with each other, right? We're helping each other. And, but we're engineering prompts, and then we'll be able to take the system and do some pretty cool generative research and drafting, for you. So that will be in a place where we can, by then it'll at a minimum be in a place where we can demonstrate what that looks like. And like you, Chad, I use AI every day. What are you guys using? Are you using Gemini? Are you using ChatGPT? You're using some other I just downloaded Perplexity, which is really cool, very handy. Perplexity is simply it's an AI powered search engine. So for example, 2 nights ago, I had a bunch of ingredients and I read them into Perplexity and I said, what can I make? And it came back with a delicious recipe that I enjoyed very much.
I thought it made you reservations at a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, walk away. Just walk away. No. I ended up with a Parmesan crusted rack of lamb. And was pretty good. Anyway, what are you guys using? Are you using, by and large, using Chat? You using Gemini? Using both? By the way, well, I should let you answer before I.
So I'm not that sophisticated. On my phone I've been using this thing called Wave, WAVE.
I'm not familiar with it. Anyone else? No, Mike, how is it?
So Wave records your conversation, right, word by word, per diem, not per diem, but per word. And then what it does, it takes that script, that entire conversation, and it summarizes it into bullet points. Mm-hmm. So I was at a meeting and I told the guy that I'm going to record this. He goes, okay, fine. And we were there for about an hour and it recorded the entire conversation verbatim. And then not only did it give me a whole transcript, but then it gave me a 1-page or a bullet point summary of the key points that were discussed, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I just kind of looked at it. I kind of edited it a little bit and then I sent it on to the client. I said, here's a nice little summary of what we discussed today.
Yeah, and that's where AI is making huge waves. There's a for those of you who may be blogging or recording, doing recordings or wanting to summarize other videos, there's castmagic.io, excuse me, and I use it. And they actually have an affiliate program of which Growth Drive is a member, but it's excellent. Similar comment for Riverside, which is not intuitive to use, but incredibly powerful. So, yeah, well, AI, Chad, you can count on AI being part of the being discussed in the conference. If you remember last year, you know, we showed a bunch of different ways to run research, and that presentation and the prompts that were used is in the conference folder in the community. So, and we'll do a workshop, guys. I'm also going to be asking for cases, so learning from others. I'd love to have a couple of, well, not love. We are going to have some cases presented, and at least one expert speaker, you know, a la John Brown.
Yeah, I think Barry, since Barry is so up to speed on the AI, I think he's the one that taught me everything I know. Especially about marketing.
Kid, are you
Come on,
doing that? Barry just bought more 8-track tapes.
Oh, actually, I've been using ChatGPT with a case, and I recorded like 5 different interviews, and you have to be careful because it won't take a lot of content and summarize. You have to do it in pieces. This has been my experience. So I take either topic with all 5 people, and I've had ChatGPT put it into insights, recommendations, resources, and it comes out. It's not always accurate, but at least it gives us a nice base upon which to refine it. And if you continually feed it, it will get to a point where it does make some sense.
Yeah.
It's great over that.
George, I'd be curious.
Report writing, but I'm a little.
Well, and
I'd be
that's
curious to hear your feedback, George, on how AI's worked with you, and from a marketing standpoint, even.
Yeah. So, you know, what it's really good at, from a marketing perspective, first of all, take any one of the blog posts. I know there are 2 that we need to publish, and I'll take care of that today. Our 2 most recent blog posts where you can just copy it, right click, copy, paste it into ChatGPT, and then say, write a 7 email campaign and have it. And by the way, you can have it reiterate, right? Show me other drafts. And what I was starting to say earlier is I take the identical prompt and put it into Gemini. And it's interesting. They're typically very similar answers, but you can get some great nuances. And it's in the footnotes, it's in the references where you're like, oh, Barry, you just made a fantastic point, which is it's great for first drafts, right? Always check it. Always check it.
Although I'm taking this course, and I'm putting in a question, and the calculation it came up with was different than what the professor came up with, and what I came up with. So,
Barry, what course?
What course is that?
it's advanced business valuation
Oh,
for public companies, though.
Right. Now, who's sponsoring that? NACPA?
No, Stern, New York University Stern Business.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Stern Business School.
George and Barry, the AI, that's why you got to keep running it. AI first round reduces two-dimensional work, and you got to really scrutinize it. I think we all know it. Uh, it's not trusted advisor type of language. It's language that our clients, I don't think, would resonate often with them. So that's why it's good content, and that's why you take it and you throw it back, write it like you're a trusted advisor with more emotional connection, and give it a second run, or make sure you just scrub it, because I have a client, they went AI route to solve something. It was off strategy. When they really scrutinized and thought it through, they said, if we go with that with a client, that's off strategy. And so our tendency is to think they're smarter than us. We have to be smarter than AI, and to be smart about how we use it.
Well, and the questions you ask it, you don't always get the answer you're even close to. For instance, I put in, give me all the public companies in the material sector. Well, it only came up with non-companies. Well, there's probably, I don't know, hundreds of publicly held companies in the materials and commodities sector. So it doesn't really always give you all the information you look.
Well, and something building on what you guys just said, have you noticed you can tell, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know for sure, right? But I feel like I can tell when AI has written a blog article, and it doesn't hit. It doesn't have that human touch. And but it does,
Let me add something, George. I don't know if everyone knows this, but with most of the AI stuff that is writing a blog for you or something like that, you can input your persona, so that it writes in your name and your personality and blah blah blah. Still not perfect, but it's better than blank.
Yeah, Steve. So I'll put in some of mine. I just put right in hillbilly, Tennessee hillbilly form. It provides, amazing work.
Yeah.
who knew you could have possum in in an article?
Or I used to could.
Use a couple of things. I recently started using Claude.
Claude, yeah, I've been reading about that. I haven't used it. How is it?
I found it good. In theory, it does better research than they each have different strengths, but Claude in theory does a little bit better research than Chat or Gemini.
You know what Gemini does do a great job of? Sorry, Steve, didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just going to go on that I also use a LinkedIn app that a colleague of mine has developed. It's Eddy.ai. You can build your persona in there, and you can create LinkedIn posts. You can do comments with it and things like that. So it's specifically tailored to LinkedIn. With regard to the comment that Michael made a few minutes ago, Otter.ai is another good note taker. I happen to use a different one, but Otter is a really good one. Just in use case, this colleague, as I was mentioned, that developed this AI too. He runs all day things. So I don't know, this is a few months ago, but at a LinkedIn summit, there was multiple speakers for I don't know, 6-8 hours or something like that. And they used the Otter.ai to record the whole damn thing. And then he just took it and then made, not that he needed, but just for educational purposes, made posts out of that for, the next summaries to publicize the event and share key points.
Another way to take this further is I've been encouraged where Chad and I have been looking at this route called Coach's Coach, and one of the things that they do is encourage you to make an avatar of your client. And many times you have 3 different versions, and a lot of times guessing there, you're going to name your client, give it an avatar, but give it all the different features. It might be the age range, where their hopes, dreams are, and you would take that as writing to this avatar about this subject. And I'm, giving your personality, they'll go with the Tennessee, whatever. And so, so you have both audiences in mind in writing the subject. have not done that, so I don't. But I'm sure it can handle that course load, and that's where I would say, you know, you should be very specific on that avatar that you're trying to talk to in this particular blog post. I think that messaging should be really, really strong and less, you know, computer-generated looking, if you will. Anybody have experience with that?
Well, first, I'm just going to comment that love it's something. Who is your client? I believe that's in the community. That's absolutely great advice. Create personas for your clients and give them a name, their age. I mean, when we do it internally, it's down to how many kids, like we really, it's very important for you to massage. It helps you really focus, and make sure that you're meeting their needs. The next thing you can do is then, okay, well, what do they want to do and what's getting in their way? And if you write that out, it really will help you think about your marketing message. And
I was thinking that that's would be sons of bosses, right? So we're feeding into sons of bosses and let's start with communication messaging channels.
I've used ChatGPT for, I've got a bunch of prompts that I got from this colleague that I referenced.
Yeah, cool.
You feed it who you're interested in, and it's specific prompts, and it builds your avatar for you, and make it down to the pain points and goals and dreams and yada yada yada, the whole 9 yards. So you can use that for your marketing.
Yeah.
And with that, I've got to jump to the clock meeting. Thank you, gentlemen.
Steve, have a great day, man.
Take care, Steve.
Bye.
You understand?
So George, related to the summit, just listening to the conversation, there's, I guess, 3 areas that as a community, we tend to want to learn from each other. One is how to get business. 2 is then how to, once we get the business, how to then be our best at developing proposals, doing the work, getting repeat business from the same client, that type of thing. And 3 is content learning, like AI. Like how do we get deeper with subject matter to really be even better at what we do? Those tend to be the 3 categories, whether it's learning from each other or bringing someone in who could help us.
Just type those 3 up. Thank you. Larry's 3 categories. There you go. You've been immortalized. No idea.
And George and Larry, I mean, I know you have Larry as well, but I mean, if there's any part of that, from a sales process, sales training, how to convert more leads into paying customers, I do want happy to throw my name in the hat as well.
And sales, Chad, you're on the list.
Chad, to your point, if we apply Clarity One just to ourselves as a business, ultimately, if you really listen to across all these discussions we have, sales comes right to the top, just like it does for our clients.
Yeah.
And we tend to call it marketing, but in many ways, in the moment, once marketing feeds in qualified leads, the top of the funnel, it's our interaction that we really need to learn better from. When we get stuck, our prospect doesn't move down the funnel to the next stage of the sales process. How do we evaluate it? What do we ask? How do we engage? All those sales, not just process, but nuances of interaction to move them along that continuum towards the sale.
It's interesting. Chad, you're on the list, by the way. So Larry and Chad, thank you. Other things. But it's interesting because we tend to hide behind marketing, right? Because doing marketing feels busy, feels good. We're putting a lot out there. I mean, it's, and some of marketing is really fun. And for most of us, sales is not fun. But it's what we absolutely need to do. And in fact, if you had to pick between the two, you're probably better off working with COIs, working with CEOs you meet, developing new sources one-on-one than you are shotgunning the world and creating, your blog posts, your articles, your podcasts. Those create credibility, and they create SEO, etc. I mean, there are a lot of great reasons for doing it, but we still nothing. Sue us. I'd love to hire her back. Sue us. Nothing happens until you sell something. Right. And that's the name of the game.
We have also excuse me, one of my primary marketing channels is through my COIs, managers and CPAs and attorneys. And so to me, it's not hard because I got to get them to introduce me to their clients, right? So how do we get them to feel, confident enough and feel comfortable enough to do that? Because I think a lot of them hesitate to do that because they just don't know what to say, how to introduce me, and there's probably a bunch of other reasons why they don't do it. But I'm wondering if there's an effective way of working COIs to get, to actually land get clients.
Yeah.
A good point. That's George, the work of Mike Garrison a little bit that we met in November with how to get your COIs to give you referrals. And a lot of it is trust. And one of the things I kicked around, I haven't done it, is all those COIs, if they haven't worked with us directly, it's only through our words do they understand a little bit of what we do. But if it's foreign to them, then it's a concept. It's something they haven't internalized, is fully appreciating our work. And I know we all don't do the same work. Can I borrow your car keys? Right? Do you give your keys? Mike Garrison is, George and I met him, and you give your keys to have someone borrow your car to just anybody? No, you're careful. But a part of that is you have to trust them driving your car.
Yeah.
Well, if you're asking a COI to connect you to somebody, they have to trust you. They have to trust they really understand the work you do, the value, before they just hand over a referral or connect you to somebody. And it's in that we get caught. And I have a bunch of that right now I have to break through. And one of the ideas is to do like a little mini workshop for your COIs to understand what you do. And so now that guy, oh, I get it. I could touch it. I could taste it, feel it. Otherwise, it's just coffee time meeting we had. And I understand you sent me an email follow-up, but I really didn't get it until.
Well, Larry, I would love to, let me tell you basically a real life story on that. So banker, found COI. He called me and said, hey, Chad, I've got a client that really needs your help. He's struggling. He lost, 40% of his business overnight, needs some help with operations and sales and so on and so forth. Well, he made the introduction. I went in, and it was about a year engagement. And about, I don't know, probably 2 months into it, 2 or 3 months into it, I uncovered that this particular client was shopping around for a $2 million piece of equipment because it was a small manufacturing company. Well, because I was engaged with this client, and I was in there weekly, monthly, right? I was in the know. So the banker was not. So what happened? I immediately picked up the phone and called the banker, the one who referred me to this client, and said, hey, look, Chris, you probably want to get over here and talk to Steve because he's in the market for a $2 million piece of equipment. Right? So my point is that COI brought me into his world, but now I'm looping him back into his client, where hopefully now he gets a $2 million loan for a new piece of equipment.
And
That is a great point. Who has a spreadsheet or some other mechanical means to which they track their referrals inbound and outbound? And great. And make a point of going, I do it every 2 weeks, going through, and it's actually on Mike's advice, going back every 2 weeks and sending out updates like, hey, for example, I owe Paul an email. Hey, Paul, thank you. And
What was that book you just held up, George?
it's called Can I Borrow Your Car? Why Successful Financial Advisors Grow Their Business and Love Their Life by Mike Garrison. And here it is. It's a good book. It's an easy read. It's not simple, but it's straightforward. It's easily digestible. Mike's a great guy, and he is arguably, he is one of the top referral experts, developing a referral network and using it to fuel your business. Mike is a great guy. I mean, I don't know, Larry, how would you rate him? He's one of the top guys in the world on this exact topic.
Yeah. And he's also an certified exit planner too.
Certified exit planner and mastermind peer group. He's an OX Council licensee as well. So
Hey Barry, how does that work in your world from a CPA standpoint? I know there's certain restrictions, that you guys have to follow. I mean, if you were to refer a client to one of us, and then like you, how does that work from a CPA standpoint?
First of all, I haven't practiced as a CPA in over 10 years. But CPAs generally do not refer business. I mean, I have, even within my own firm, we had different departments, and there was, even though part of the compensation was based on the cross referrals within the firm, it really never happened. And I mean, talking to other firms and other partners, or partners with other firms that had investment banking or other consulting, it never happened.
Yeah, and Larry.
Well, what I do, I don't accept referrals. If somebody calls up, if a COI calls up and says, I want you to call, Tom Jones, and he's got this problem, I'll say no. And it puts them back on their heels, because I ask them, let's call them together. Because the way that the COI really gets comfortable with you, in my opinion, gets comfortable and understands what you do, is they hear you in action with one of their, with the referral. And after you do that a couple of times, they feel comfortable bringing you in. And even after I've been with them several times, I still insist that they come in. And I recently didn't abide by my rule, and I accepted a client that I'm involved in now that I really should not have accepted. And I want to talk to this group about this situation, because I shouldn't have accepted this client. Okay, they don't fit my profile, and I don't think I'm going to be successful with them on a long-term basis, and that to me is not something I want to do.
I want to hear more about that. I mean, you're right. Referral is a dirty word, and collaboration is the name of the game.
Right. And once they get comfortable, it's that bonding that really takes place.
So Barry, how can we help you with the current situation?
Well, this is a client that the patriarch is, I think he's 72, 73. He doesn't think too highly of one of his sons that's in the business. I mean, it's
they are extraordinarily unsophisticated. They are admittedly not computer literate. Okay? They use pieces of paper for everything. And I just felt I'm struggling with what do I do? I'm writing my reports, and George, you've seen my reports. It's like, I over-engineer them to the point of ridiculous. But I'm simplifying this, and I charge them a lot, a nice fee, and I geared it to be the engagement to be finished by April 15th, so I can start golfing on April 16th. So, and I'm just trying to, at some point, I'm going to issue the report and probably exit because I'm not sure going down this rabbit hole is going to be something that I want to do. So
Barry, I think you're landing on something. I'm not sure how broadly across the community, George, this is needed, but a couple of things. One is that COI referral process. How do we work it better? And so how do we build trust in that and we get more quality leads from that? And two, how do we, in my peer group I run, this is a big issue, chasing clients. And I've fallen into that trap too darn often, including in the last 2 months. How do we go ahead and distinguish between worth their time, not worth their time? And sometimes business is hard to get, and we chase things. And I have to get stronger at not chasing something. And so those are two different conversations, but yeah, Barry.
Larry, I don't chase business. Okay. I have a cadence process that it's 2 meetings. After 2 meetings, if they don't become a client, we're done. Okay. Other than me putting them on a tickler and periodically, dealing with them. But my interview process, I interviewed this particular client for 4 hours before I accepted them as a client. And I still didn't catch it.
Okay, that's my point, Barry. 4 hours. I have 3 this year that not chasing, but in that conversation from day one, it didn't feel right. But I spent 2.5, and 2 hours. That's 6.5 hours with 3 that led to nothing. And you know what? In hindsight, I'm glad because they were going to be poor clients and I fell into the trap. Great learning. I need a kick in the ass once in a while around it to get better at it. But it's kind of, this is all tied together. So Chad, it's not sales directly, but it's a part of our business development that has to have some disciplines and methodology at the same time. And a part of that is the sales component, part of COI referral, and how we tie all this together.
Absolutely, Larry. And I don't know how large some of you guys are, but, it doesn't take all that many good, solid referral partners, COIs, to really get your pipeline full. I don't think, I know that I don't. I mean, I certainly don't need, 20 or 30 COIs. I mean, I've got probably, 5 to 6 that I can rely on at any given point. I understand their model, they understand my model, and it's a good working relationship. So yeah, but I agree with you 100%, Larry.
I brought this book up, I think, more than once. Well, Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play. They talk in there about that qualification process. And at the end of the first meeting,
he asked the question, should we keep talking? And at the end of the second meeting, you ask the question, should we do business? And you preface to the meaning that that's really what you're getting at the end. Is if the decision is made after the first meeting not to keep talking, well, then you've invested an hour or 2 hours. Now, my investment of 4 hours with this client in the beginning is unusual for me. I usually do 1 hour and then 1 hour. If we should, continue talking. And never talk about fees until you develop the scope of what you're doing. Because if it's only about the money, the fees, then they're the wrong client.
Right.
At least for my
again, Barry?
It's called Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play.
Yeah. I got it here on Amazon. By Mahan Kalisa?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a sec, please post these and I'll put, I believe this book is in Circle, but please put that in the book section of Circle, because these are great nuggets.
It's $15.99 on Amazon. Let's get real.
Or the Kindle version, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Kindle version was
intense. So we're I'm committing to a E program that's fully covered around the business searching part of it, and it's really qualifying steps of pretty with the back end and being growth drive for. And so when we talk about creation and chaos and control and prosperity and freedom, there's all there's pulling the ball. So I'll let you do it sense up in the chat here in a second. My hot bio and then this basically it's a book, an ebook that they put together, and what I try to continue to finesse it to the broadcast conversations, but this is put in place. So one of the things I wanted to do is do a free webinar from Dean here to kind of sort of maybe just spin up just some different ideas of way to think about those to your clients is they recommend a program that with an accountant. So for that is you're doing like half an hour coaching once a week in this team. You have a lot of retainer ability and loans, yada yada yada. But when you're pushing accountants, say, Mr. Accountant, would you like to be part of that? And then your is your time to review the data and go through this. So you're bringing in an expert knowledge control of the client, you're still quarterbacking the meeting, and they get about 25% of the fee. So that's an interesting way of kind of doing, because oftentimes the companies aren't that small, they don't need a full-time focus, but if you can bring in that resource on every months, that's going to be so I've not done it, honestly, but I do believe that we got to figure out a way and kind of way. If we did, you say the CPAs never, that seems to be, and I don't want to go maybe where we already figured that out, but there's certainly an influencer on the owner, right? And how do we work with that? And so I thought it was interesting that, I definitely have to myself in real life. But if we could get them to be part of the solution and collect the fee at the same time, seems plausible to me, but I'm not done anything with it yet. But I'll learn about that. Rather share.
Yeah, I thought about that too, Joe. Being a CPA, I have a meeting with a pretty medium-sized CPA firm coming up the end of April, and they have a whole bunch of clients, right? And then sure, they have tons of businesses that need this kind of work, but to try to get them motivated to get me involved with them, that's the issue, right? They seem I've had not good experiences with CPAs, even though I am one, but I think they get very caught up in their own world, and they have so many things going on that and I think a lot of them too are not although they have business clients, I don't think they're very conversant with speaking to business owners about their business. I think they're conversant about speaking to their business owner clients about their tax returns or their line, but they don't feel comfortable talking to them about, well, what are you doing here and what are you doing here? They don't feel comfortable giving business advice because they just feel like they're trained to do it, and I shy away from it. That's I always, I was there too. They just don't feel comfortable with it. They stay in their lane, and and of course, on the other side of it, when I start talking to clients about when I still am, when I talk to them about their businesses, they say to me, "Well, I thought you were just a tax partner or accountant. What are you doing this now?" So you also sometimes pigeonhole by your client into a certain box, and part of the challenge, if you serve them in a certain way, in a certain capacity, in a very limited way, to try to break out of that box is difficult.
You know, my guy, for me at least, it has been the CPA firm number one, and then the law firm number two, as far as my COIs and referral partners.
Really? How do you do it? What's the secret sauce?
Well, and I think so, and I read an article not too long ago, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you guys. But
Please.
it was talking about how the CPA clients wished that their firm offered more services, right, again, than just the traditional tax and accounting, right? And I don't know what I'm saying or not saying, but basically I'm approaching them as, hey, look, I am extension of your team. We're not competing against each other whatsoever. We're just strengthening your current services, of what you're already offering. And, at the end of the day, I mean, based on what I bring to the table, it only complements what the CPA firm is already doing.
Do you share with the chat? Do you share with them?
I don't.
So you're just positioning yourself as basically being another service that they're adding on to their service offerings, and
That's correct.
you're their partner in that regard. And now they bring it to the table, and of course I could see it because being a CPA myself, I know that if I start talking, when you start talking to a client about making and improving your businesses, and even talking about eventually, right, reaching the pinnacle, which is transferable business that you can sell. I mean, there's a ton of work in there for them. I mean, there's tax planning in there for them. There's also what do you call it? A lot of they may need audited financials, reviewed financials, and the outsourced CFO. I mean, there's so much work in there for them if they would just start the process.
Well, most of the time when they allow me in, and typically it takes 2 to 3 months, I will always identify additional services that CPA firm needs to be a part of with that client.
It's interesting. Yeah, like you're hitting on the what's in it for them.
Yeah, it's always WIFM, right?
Yeah.
The most famous radio station in the world.
That's right.
I've never heard that before.
That's what it is. Dinner from me.
That's true. And we've talked a bunch inside the community about wealth advisors and insurance advisors on exactly this point. And the other one that I have heard having positive feedback is if you can tie yourself in with an investment banker, the right investment banker, and develop a relationship that they're looking at businesses that need us, sort of every day. And those can be good. And that's a collaboration, right? Because what the investment banker wants is for us to go off, help the business get ready for a transaction, and then come back to the fold. And those have been positive. So and we have investment banking firms. Say Michael Poole at PCE, he's developed an entire advisory program that looks good. Probably, regardless, presents some opportunities for us. So I have a hard stop, guys, at about 10:20 in about 2 minutes. All right. Very good. Before my 10:30. Great conversation, guys. I have scads of notes here about the conference. Thank you very much. I will be putting out as soon as I have the link. We're going to be putting out the link to the hotel. The hotel is beautiful, guys, and we'll keep hammering on the agenda. We'll start putting it into shape pretty quickly, so that we can get to work. So that we can have it out there for you guys to crunch on. If you have thoughts, ideas, call me, text me, email me, talk amongst yourselves, and yeah. Any thoughts? I feel to wake up, guys.
I just put that accounting finishing strict and chat with you guys. So just gotta think through finding out how to position yourself as a coach with the accountant. I really like it because they're looking at a $30,000 billing for the year. Now to look at it from a 250 per session or 500 depending on your personnel, but they're 25%. And so where are they going to go to get that kind of pop, the $30,000 per year if you have 10 clients, right? So we're just doing some math with them. But to just continue to keep engaged with them on by program that they can follow. So consider it. I think I'll do some research and then report back to you guys on further ideas how we can engage that. Because it's a huge market, we need to figure out how to make it friends with these guys.
Yeah, I was trying to ask themselves some hard questions, which
no doubt.
It's time.
All right, guys.
That was Chad, call me sometime, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to duck out.
Bye now.
Appreciate it. Everybody have a great week. Thank you.
Teacher.
Hey, Barry. I still owe you what, $10 or $20?
Oh, my life has changed because of that.
Hey, I think by the time I see you at the conference, man, it's going to be up to what, like $500?
Well, compound the interest daily, about 500.
What is the bet about? You got to fill us in on what the wager was there.
It wasn't a wager.
Oh, okay.
I came from the Uber to the airport. I mean, my pleasure.
Well, Barry, I'm going to rename you Tiger Goodman as opposed to Barry Goodman.
Why is that?
Because your life, golf is kind of like almost the center of your life these days.
It is the center. It is the only thing.
All right, so I invite you Tiger Goodman. That's it.
Yeah, it's the center of my life.
No, the $1 million question is, how did Barry really come up with his business name?
You want to know?
Bert Snell?
You want to know?
Yes. Inquiring minds.
I Googled. I wanted to know the top golf courses in the Southeast. Okay. And this one came up. A bunch of other ones came up I didn't like, and this one came up, I liked it. But you can't trademark a city.
Augusta.
There's a city called Birkdale in Australia. But that's how I got it. So there's a community called Birkdale. It is a mixed use golf community, and I think it's Georgia or Carolinas.
Can't take Augusta right there.
No. I didn't realize at the time that there was a very famous golf course called Royal Birkdale in Scotland.
Gotcha.
I forget which one.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks, no. Have a good week.
Talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.